Hey guys, thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Hales, and this is another episode of Draw It With Me. So I'm not actually a dancer, although I did play a few roles in Dracula and the Nutcracker while I was in college. For the record, I never actually wore tights. I do, however, love to draw dancers, and those images you saw in the intro are from a book I compiled and illustrated called Passion and Spirit, the Dance Quote Book. It's a collection of dance quotations from some of the world's foremost dancers, choreographers, artists, and philosophers. Coupled with over 60 illustrations of strength, vulnerability, grace, and beauty, this fully illustrated quote book celebrates the very essence of the dancer. For those interested, it's now available for purchase in hardcover and ebook editions on Amazon.com and HalesArt.com. It's also in a bunch of libraries across the country, so be sure to check it out. Meanwhile, let's draw a ballerina. Today I'll be using pearl gray pastel paper as a support with Prismacolor oil-based colored pencils in cool gray for the shadows and white for highlights. I'll start out with basic outlines, then develop the drawing to an intermediate level of detail, keeping it kinda loose. So grab your supplies and draw it with me. After a couple initial attempts at simplifying the first stage of this ballerina that I wasn't totally satisfied with, I've erased so we can start again. Some days it just takes a few tries to get going. Even failed underdrawings can sometimes help to refine your proportions, each iteration bringing you closer to something that actually works. If you try once or twice and it doesn't work out, don't get discouraged. Just erase or grab another piece of paper and keep trying. It happens to everyone. Let's begin again with an oval at about a 45-degree angle. This will be the tutu. Make a small hole in the middle so it looks like a donut. This will be our ballerina's waistline. Then we'll build up the torso, a bit wider at the chest and shoulders and more narrow at the waist. A long, elegant neck to support the head. Rounded curves for face, jaw, and cranium. Jawline about halfway between front and back. Eyeline about halfway between top and bottom. I'll move on to the arms and hands using what worked from previous failed attempts. Same with the legs and feet, careful to keep the proportions accurate to the model. Once we have the basic form laid out, we can start working in some of the detail and texture of the costume and features. Then we can darken and refine some of our line work. Generally, the face is a focal point for more detail, but not always. With this piece, I'm going to focus on the negative space of the dancer's form, darkening the background around her. This is often a preferred method for figurative works. I'll leave a loose, sketchy feel to the strokes to suggest movement, spontaneity, and variety. In a way, using the negative space is like carving a figure out of stone. Add a bit more texture to the edges, isolating the torso from what's behind it. set our light source from above and slightly off-center, her arm casting a shadow over the tutu. Shade in more of the background. Work in some of the detail of her toe shoes. Add a bit of a reflection in the floor to make her seem more elongated. Now that we've finished our basic drawing of the ballerina, we'll time-lapse the remainder of the process to show further shading, refinement, and finishing touches without boring you to death. If you want to follow along with your own drawing, feel free to take it in small stages, pausing as necessary. Eventually, hopefully sooner than later, once we have enough followers, subscribers, and ad rev, we'll be offering premium content on drawitwithme.com, with full real-time and ebook tutorials for the serious art students that may be watching. So be sure to subscribe, like, and share all the videos you find helpful or entertaining. On tone paper, you can tackle the highlights with a white, cream, or other light-colored pencil that complements the colors you're already using. This helps it to pop. I'll then go in and deepen the shadow work to give the image more drama and impact. Have fun at this point, blending, adding texture or scribbles here and there to make the piece cohesive. So how do we know the dancer from the dance? If you fancy yourself a ballerina, practice ballet. If you're a filmmaker, make films. And if you're an artist, create art. The more regularly we practice our craft, the better we become. So join us again next time and draw it with me. Take care.